Hello, darlings. How are you? Well, today I'm going to talk about the world and the stuff that's going on at the moment that I've been watching with great interest. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So we're just coming to the end of April and moving into May. And now, you know, the astrologers, certainly the ones I follow, have said that April and May are going to be big shaky up months. And then by the time we hit June, it's going to start settling down. Well, thank fuck for that. But it's been really, really interesting of late, has it not? I mean, the big pope, and I say big, he wasn't that big, but then suddenly he was enormous. Did you see the last few, not the last photo of him in the coffin? Because that looked very different. That looked like somebody, I have no idea who that was. But the Pope, remember when he came on the balcony and he was like, and then he disappeared. Do you remember that? But he was like reasonably okay, thin. And then suddenly they were wheeling him around in the wheelchair and he was about 25 kilos heavier than before. I mean, it was like a big beached whale. What was that about? Was that him? Was that a double? I mean, if you're going to have a double, make sure it looked like he'd had a few doubles, actually, to me. It looks like he'd been on the doubles. But if you're going to have a double, make sure that they look more or less the same. Just as an aside, the height of Trump's height changes all the time. Whenever I see him, he's either much, much taller or about the same height or much, much taller. I mean, what's going on? How many doubles has Trump got? Don't know. But definitely something going on that score. I mean, I saw some photos of him at the Pope's funeral. And what about that, Bear? Did you see the upside down crosses on the doors of the Pope's funeral? And the images of Donald Trump and his wife? Something looked off. But hey, could just be me. Something looked off. I mean, it was a Zoom photograph, but it just looked a bit off. And all that pomp and ceremony there. I wonder how much that cost. I wonder how much it cost for all of the leaders of the world to fly in with all of the security and all of that. I wonder how much that cost. My son was saying to me just yesterday, we had a conversation, and he said, do you think that the Catholic Church is linked to God? And I said, not really. No, I don't think any of them are really linked to God. And I said to them, it's the Catholic religion has enough money to end world famine 3 times over. And I said, so why don't they just use a third? Keep 2/3. Use a third and end world poverty and world famine. Why don't they do that? If they were godlike, if they were linked to God, then they would probably do that. Because I don't know if God needs money. The sense I get is he doesn't. Yet they're always asking for money, aren't they? They want money. That's how the Catholic Church started, selling entrance tickets to heaven. But I don't think money's, a big issue for God, or it shouldn't be. If it is, I would worry. And then, of course, Mr. Schwab, you will have nothing and you will be, I don't know what accent that is. Anyway, you will be happy. He's left the WEF, but not only has he left the WEF, he left the WEF and he's instantly been investigated for some dodgy practices. Instantly left the WEF. Dodgy practices. And what is that about? Why is it that he leaves? I mean, you know why, don't you? Because they're already investigating him and he thinks, well, I better get the flock out of here, as the shepherd said. Let's get out of here. And then he's being investigated. And then who's taken his place? But the CEO of Nestle. Nestle, the company from hell. Nestle, I do the very best I can, never, ever, ever to use their products. And the CEO, who went through a black eye period as well, who said that humankind, doesn't necessarily have a right to water. Yeah, Nestle. And then I watched a video of him saying, putting it right.
Hello, I'm Peter Brabeck, the chairman of Nestle. There are apparently some misconceptions about my ideas on water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs. About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car.
And my guess is that he's probably got lots of houses with lots of swimming pools. So what he means by people is not him, anybody else. People who don't have the money, they don't have the right to. But of course, rich people, yes, of course. Just like the climate people who say that we shouldn't fly, we shouldn't use cars, we should just stop oil. Just stop oil. Yeah, just stop oil. And they fly around the world, fly all over the shant, all over the place, flying around. Greta Thunberg, I mean, her arse is never out of a plane seat. And then they come and lecture everybody else on not doing that. Yeah. Have you noticed, by the way, it was something that I noticed yesterday, they're still doing the 3-word slogans, right? 3-word slogans, just stop oil. These are extremely powerful. Be careful with the 3-word slogans. Safe and effective. Just stay home. Hands, face, something else. Can't remember what it was now. They're like the 3-wordy things going on. Meanwhile, the world is alight. The channels that I see are alight with this pushback against that area and the things that they're doing. And of course, there's this big fight going on now between the people who want to actually say, I think there might be something wrong, and the other people who are saying, if you say that, then you are an anti-doodah. Yeah. Names are still being thrown around willy-nilly at people for any kind of thing that they might say. If you say anything, anti, you're an anti or a phobe. Yeah, you've got a phobia or you're an anti. Yeah. In the UK, the Supreme Court has said that gender is assigned at birth and that there are two, and that women are women and men are men. Supreme Court in the UK. Well, there's hell on. There's hell on. And everybody's saying, well, thank God for that. A little bit of sense. A little bit of sense. And yet, were the Supreme Court of the land to say that 50 years ago, they would be taken out of the posts for being so stupid. People would say, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Of course. I mean, it's stating the obvious, isn't it? Stating the obvious. And yet, we're at a place in the world where the obvious is not that obvious. And stating it is an act of rebellion. Yeah? And it's a phobic act. In the UK, they have just announced that in a month, it's absolutely incredible, in a month, they are going to approve the sunblock technique. Blocking the sun. They started 30 years ago, but they're just going to approve it now. It's going to be approved. So, just really, I'm a layman. When people go, are you a scientist? Well, shut the fuck up then. Are you a doctor? Well, shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm not a professional, but I'm pretty good. And so, the UK has shit weather. The UK has the shittest weather that I've found in the whole of Europe, I think. It is shit. It rains all of the time. Summer comes at Easter for a week, and then it fucks off, and it never comes back. There is no heat in the UK. There is no warmth. right? Despite what they say, it's the hottest summer on record. Like, it keeps saying every year, hottest summer on record. And people are going, well, actually, I had the heating on in June. What's hot about that? But anyway, so they're saying that they're going to start dimming the sun in the UK where there's no heat. You know, it's like, it would be like saying, we're going to start cooling the Antarctic and the North Pole. We want it colder. Let's have it colder there. Yeah. Why would you do that? That's not where the issue is. Yeah. So then all of the people who have solar panels are fucked. Because if there's less sun, I mean, the solar panels don't work that well in the UK anyway. And I've got a friend who has solar panels and he said, well, it doesn't do much. I'm not surprised because it's never sunny. But it's going to be less sunny, according to them. They're going to stop it even more. So the big push for alternative energy, solar panels, well, that's down the kibosh, yeah? So what does that mean? Well, they're going to have to start burning more coal. Yeah, okay, so they're going to stop the sun and then they're going to fill up the atmosphere with more fumes. Incredible. And then a big long list, as long as your arm, of MPs are voting for digital ID so that we can sort out the immigrant crisis. It's the link there. It's a very tenuous link, I've got to say, very tenuous. If we do that, everything will be resolved. Problem, reaction, solution. And of course, all their names have been posted on the internet. This is the beautiful thing. Like, before, we used to find out after, very often, like, oh, the government has just released a new law saying, and you go, wow, well, I wasn't expecting that. Now everything's out in the open. Everything is published beforehand. I mean, we are in incredible times where nothing is hidden. You know, right years ago when the emissary started talking to me, they said, we're moving into a time when the light keeps getting brighter and it's going to be awful, they said, because we're going to be thinking that we're in a room, a darkened room, and we're all fine. And then the light's going to come on and we're going to look and see that we are surrounded by shit and monsters and horrible things. That's the period of time that we're in. The light's going on and we're looking around going, well, what the hell? It's always been there. It's always been around us. We just didn't see it. And now we are. This is the revelation. This is the period of time in which we find ourselves, where we are seeing stuff that we would never, ever in a million years believe that we would see. However, then it's going to settle down. Then it's going to settle down. We're going to get into a bit of a calm period where we can start focusing on what we need to focus on. And, you know, look, there's a lot going on. And it's very entertaining as well, I've got to say. I'm entertained by it. But let's not make it our 100% focus. Let's make ourselves, as the Jesus Energy said, start searching for our happiness, focusing on our happiness. That's where really we're going to have the best work done. And let this go on. I mean, every now and again dip in and go, holy cow. But don't make it your life's work. Don't make it your life's work to work out everything that Trump does and gematria and every finding codes and stuff and whatever. Don't make that your prime focus. It's a fascinating hobby, but your prime focus is you and doing the very best that you can do and being as happy as you can, fulfilling your purpose and being the best version of yourself that you can. Okay? Love you all. Hey, if I missed anything, have I missed something important? Tell me about it in the comments. What other stupid thing is happening in the world? I love you all and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.